Hello and welcome to the No One Asked You podcast. This series I am once again joined by my wonderful co-host, that darn Kitty.
Dorkus and I are sharing our experience reading The Way of Kings for the first time. Each episode we will summarize what we've read and discuss our experience along the way.
This is Storming the Archives, The Way of Kings, and today we discuss Chapter 47.
Chapter 47!
Chapter 47. Chapter 47, Storm Blessings. Nearly 4 years have passed since Kaladin enlisted in Amaram's army. He's decided to re-enlist in a couple of weeks once his initial 4 years are up. He can't face his parents after having broken his promise to protect Tien. Soldiers prepare for battle while Kaladin confronts another squad leader, Gare. After a bit of posturing, Gare takes Kaladin's spheres and agrees to send his newest recruit over to Kaladin's squad. Kaladin has garnered an admirable reputation among the soldiers. He's the youngest squad leader in the army. He reflects on how they consider the opposing Alethi troops the enemy, but have no problem fighting beside them when actual border disputes occur against the Vedans or the Reshi. Kaladin bribes the surgeons to ensure they treat his soldiers first. Finally, he makes his way to the line. He's taken aback by how much Sen looks like Tien. Kaladin talks battle plans with Dalit. He aspires to fighting on the Shattered Plains. The squad charges. Sen is separated from the group during the fight. Kaladin searches for him. He quickly bandages the boy's wounds. A Light Eyes in fancy armor wreaks havoc on the battlefield. Kaladin sends away some of his soldiers, then orders others into formation to take down the Bright Lord. Kaladin wants him dead because he might be the one. Kaladin and his squad successfully dispatch the Bright Lord. He doesn't mind stealing from the dead, even though he's not supposed to. He uses the money for bribes. Kaladin respects Amaram more than most, or any other Light Eyes. A man in magnificent golden armor and a flame-like shard blade charges down Amaram's lines. He tramples Sen and strikes down Dalit. Kaladin screams. Sen speaks. "He watches, the Black Piper in the night. He holds us in his palm, playing a tune that no man can hear," then dies. Kaladin picks up his spear, then charges the Shard-Bearer. He and his squad are the only ones charging the Shard-Bearer. The Shard-Bearer strikes down Amaram's horse. Kaladin and his squad arrive just as the Shard-Bearer is about to strike down Amaram. As they fight, many of Kaladin's squad are struck down. Kaladin and the Shard-Bearer fight. Against all odds, Kaladin emerges from the fight victorious. Those who survived are silent with shock. One of his squad, Koreb, urges him to take the shard blade. Kaladin reaches out, but stops. It feels wrong. If he takes the blade, he'd become one of them. He sees the blood of his squad on the blade. The blade sickens him. He gives the blade to Koreb. Amaram is shocked. "What are you doing? What? Aren't you going to take the blade?" "I don't want it. I'm giving it to my men." Then he walks back to the war camp alone. Elevator question. I don't remember if I asked in a previous chapter. But I feel like I did, but I'll ask it again. Do you think Kaladin is going to end up leading the bridge crew once they escape to the light that he saw at the center of the Shattered Plains in the dream?
I don't know if he's going to be doing it on purpose, but I'm pretty sure that's where they're going to land up.
Cool. In current day, do you think Lirin and Hesina are alive?
I don't know. I really don't know, because the Bright Lord that they have was still there and irritating them, so I don't know, maybe they moved. So they could be alive. It's unconfirmed. You know what I'm like? I need them to tell me. Yeah. What do you think?
I think they might be alive. Amaram didn't do the thing I thought he'd do.
Yeah.
We'll get to it all in order.
Okay.
So we go back in time a bit and get to re-experience chapter 1, which was neat, yeah?
Yeah, very neat. I was really happy. I'm like, "Hey, this is where we're at? Oh, wow. Yeah."
From a different POV. We know so much more. So we skipped boot camp. And this is after Tien's death.
Mm-hmm. So we still don't know how Tien exactly died.
Correct. Although I think it involves one of... What was the opposing guy's name? Hala? One of Hala's
Yes.
soldiers that probably did the deed.
Who is the one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
As you said, who is the one? Now, considering we got in the last Amaram chapter the mention that they would make Tien a runner boy for a couple of years, I wonder if Tien wasn't even like soldiering. I'm wondering if it's a don't kill the messenger, kill the messenger situation that happened.
Mm-hmm. Either way, it doesn't really matter whether he's in. It would just make it worse, I suppose, if he's not more immoral, is what I mean by worse. That he's not even a soldier; he's essentially just a little boy there, and he's just killed for nothing. Maybe killed out of temper, something like that. Either way, even if if Tien was fighting at that point and was killed, Kaladin would still want to kill the person who killed Tien.
Yes. So Kaladin's contemplating re-enlisting in a couple of weeks because he can't bear to show his face at home knowing that he failed to uphold his promise.
Yeah.
How do you think... Go on. What were you going to say?
I don't know. I'm not sure time-wise, but there is the point that you did tell them that he's failed in a letter.
Yes.
And we just don't have them replying, which,
Yeah.
See our discussion about the parents.
Yeah. How do you think Liren and Hesina would take Kaladin coming back? Like, I think Liren would view Kaladin as a killer and possibly disown him, even knowing that Kaladin signed up to protect Tien, not to kill. I think Hesina would be more understanding. What do you think?
Would he go as far as disowning Kaladin? I think he would just be uncomfortable with him, but he would still love him. I don't feel like he would go all the way to disowning.
I'm inclined to disagree. I think Liren holds in such disdain the act of killing. I don't know that it would be like, I don't love you anymore, but you've committed an irredeemable act, and I can never look at you again.
I would be like, I could never look at you the same again, which isn't the same thing as banishing someone. It's just being forever awkward with them.
Yeah.
Things not being the same. That's what I imagine it. Especially if Hesina, which I agree, she would be more pragmatic about it, and also just love the fact that she has one son at least back. I feel like because of her, there wouldn't be any disowning. He would just be offish forevermore.
Yeah. Either way, it would be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Kaladin goes and he pays for Sen in this one, which we know happened from the first chapter. We learn that Kaladin is exceptional at what he does and very quickly became the youngest squad leader.
Mm-hmm. We have more of the shows of respect from other leaders and things like that. We have him working the way he does, bribing people and all of that. He's obviously we had that air of mystery of what he's like in the chapter 1. So what's nice about this is like now we know Kaladin, and we know how he gains respect from everyone, and also uses their weaknesses, such as their lust for money, to dominate people. And he also just is physically dominant. We get the trousers again. Yeah. And I'm just thinking they have to make Kaladin, if they for the casting, I have to find someone very hot, because I'm just thinking he is a specimen. He must be.
Well, get to work on that, because we're going to do a Way of Kings casting eventually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He goes and bribes the doctors, Again,
Yeah.
seems like a bit of a waste of Kaladin's talents not to have him specifically be a doctor, but the spear obviously speaks to him, so.
Hmm. And maybe, yeah, he just abandoned that. That he's not that person anymore. He thinks
Yeah.
it's like either or for him. Maybe he has that from his father, that it's like I'm either I can't kill, what's it, you can't kill to save, or something like that.
Hmm.
So he's like, oh well, then I guess I can't be a surgeon. So maybe he's himself has condemned himself
Yeah,
according to his
that's
dad's law. Yeah.
entirely possible. Nay,
Mhm.
probable. And then he goes and confers with Dalit, and he sees Sen, and he's like, man alive, this guy looks just like my brother.
Yeah, like he even calls him Tien, like, or he thinks Tien when he sees him. Doesn't say, "Oh, this man looks like Tien." He actually goes Tien in his head, like
Yeah.
at some point. Yeah.
And then we fast forward through the bulk of the battle. Sen has been separated and he gets injured. Kaladin runs up and wraps his wound, and then he sends away some of his squad, and then he goes and fights the fancy Light Eyes.
Yeah, but he's not a shard bearer.
Right, he is not a shard bearer. He's a little concerned that others have picked up on how much he dislikes Light Eyes. So already he
Mm.
the seed of that hatred. I mean that came from Rashon, I'm so
Mm-hmm.
certain. Seems to be exacerbated.
But he still has this idea that there are more honorable light eyes, or there's more honorable fighting in the Shattered Plains. Maybe it's
Yes.
because he still has some sort of good regard for Amaran.
Yeah. So he's not too far gone down the hatred
Yeah.
path yet.
Mm.
He needs to experience some of the good Light Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's important to note that he finds it strange that they're so comfortable considering these enemy Alethi enemies, but that they will happily fight alongside those very same enemies against foreigners who are
Mm.
enemies. Remember that moment with the Vedden and the other
Yeah,
thing?
it is. It's pretty silly. It's ridiculous, but yeah, that's it. So it's like we're enemies, but it casts more of a light on the Alethi, just how silly they are. They're always in fighting. He notices that sometimes it's just the word. He notices that when he's fighting for Amaran, they're just doing the more of the same thing that another Light Eyes is doing, that another Bright Lord is doing. He does acknowledge that they're doing the same thing on the other side. So it's not that he's like Amaram's the justice of everything. It's just more he's like, that's strange. That yeah, the Bright Lords, the way that they interact with each other, it's like they act as if they're the righteous ones, but it's like everyone's just making stupid war on each other just because they want the property. That's it. It's about the land. It's like, oh, they'll claim that this land was theirs always, and then the other side will claim the same thing. So that's he does acknowledge that. I
Let
would
me
need to
see if I
find it.
can
I don't know if
find
I've
my.
highlighted it.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the passage. The enemy, that was what they were called, yet whenever there was an actual border dispute with the Vedans or the Reshi, those men would line up beside Amaram's troops and they would fight together. It was as if the Night Watcher toyed with them, playing some forbidden game of chance, occasionally setting the men on his game board as allies, then setting them to kill one another the next day. And then it goes on.
More and more over the last few years, every one of these petty light eyes had come to represent Rashon in Kaladin's eyes. Only Amaram himself stood apart. Amaram, who had treated Kaladin's father so well, promising to keep Tien safe. Amaran, who always spoke with respect, even to lowly spearmen. He was like Dalinar and Sadius, not this riffraff. Okay, so that's just a bit about Amaram. Of course, Amaram had failed to protect Tien, but so had Kaladin. No, I thought that's where it was gonna be. Also, by the way, there was a thing that he said. besides, surgery was his old life. In a way, he didn't deserve it anymore. So, confirmation on what we were talking about.
Yep.
He had joined Amaram's army expecting to defend Alethi borders, and defend them he did against other Alethi, lesser landlords who sought to slice off bits of High Prince Sadeas's lands. Occasionally, Amaram's armies would try to seize territory from other High Princes. This is what I think this is what I'm talking about. Lands Amaram claimed that really belonged to Sadeas and had been stolen years before. Kaladin didn't know what to make of that. Or of all Light Eyes, Amaram was the only one he trusted. But it did seem, but it did seem like they were doing the same thing as the army they fought. The armies they fought. That's the line.
Yep.
There are several times that where he's like, Amaram is the good Light Eyes, okay? But, and we do have ideas that, no, he doesn't want to think too much. So he has been... He's got, I just think this, but it did seem like they were doing the same thing as the armies they fought. That's one thing, and then he doesn't go further with it, but it is in his mind. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
As he goes in to fight the Light Eyes, that could be the one, presumably the one who killed Tien, though we can't say for certain at this time. He wonders if his hatred of the Light Eyes is transparent to those around him.
Yeah, that's just so far off from where he is now. He doesn't give a shit about how people seeing that he absolutely hates Light Eyes.
Yeah. They kill the Bright Lord, and then the Shard Bearer comes charging down the lines. The Shard Bearer kills Sen, and that is the moment into which we get
Dalit.
new terror. And Dalit.
Like, viscerally.
It's very sad. I liked Dalit.
Mm.
And from that point on, we're into unfamiliar territory as readers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We get a death rattle this chapter.
Mm-hmm. Well, we did have the death rattle. We did have that from him in the beginning. But
I
now
don't
it just
think we
seems
did.
We did.
I went back and looked at the chapter, and it said he closed his eyes.
Oh, okay. Because I remember, where did we get the idea that the death rattles were normal? Because Kaladin heard a death rattle and didn't do anything. So whenever that was.
He did. I believe it was during one of the bridge runs. Yeah.
Okay.
Back to chapter 1.
Must have been. Yeah.
Back to chapter 1, the very last 2 sentences. And why would you want to fight the Almighty? Sen closed his eyes. And then it goes on to chapter 2.
So I thought that the reason that I found it, I thought that we had his death rattle, and also I thought the reason that it didn't really stick with me is because it was in first chapter, but also just okay. So the meaning of it, I was like, okay, this seems like it's the devil he's talking about, like, or whatever, the dark one.
Yeah. So that's the big thing is now that I'm imagining the Voidbringers as being specific Cthulhu monsters with names and domains, it's hard not to imagine the death rattle being this particular one being about one of those beings. The Black Piper, he watches us. Scary.
Spooky. Just I think of that face.
And as you reminded us, Kaladin doesn't think twice about the death rattle. So, must be normal?
Yeah.
Unless it's a weird thing like where they forget it after it's been said. Like it's the geometry men. Like we know Shalon can see the geometry men when she's doing her artwork, but she can't physically see them. And I theorize it's because she's forgetting she sees them when she sees them. So maybe you forget you hear it right after you're done hearing it.
Yeah, or it could be that he's just in the heat of battle, I suppose. But it seems like with these 2 cases, it seems a bit more likely what you're saying instead.
So the Shard Bearer charges toward Amaram, and Kaladin charges after the Shard Bearer. Amaram gets damaged. I think he breaks his leg or something. Kaladin loses several members of his squad, and his squad are the only ones going to fight the Shard Bearer.
Yeah, it was hard to read, man. Oof.
Yeah.
And
And
they just all
Kaladin,
die so quickly. Yeah.
yeah, and Kaladin takes those deaths very close to heart,
Mm.
very seriously. But his is also the only squad that charges. So
Mm-hmm.
there's an epic fight scene. I thought it was great.
Oh, it was so cool. That arrow thing was very cool.
Yep. And Kaladin wins.
Yes.
I had said previously that I wondered if the thing that Amaram did that turned Kaladin against him was to have basically taken the shard blade in this
Yeah.
situation.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah. But it turns out Amaram is like, are you going to take it? Why aren't you taking it? Dude, take
Yeah.
it. Why? Why aren't you? It's so unheard of. And then, man alive, to be the lucky guy, Koreb, who is given the shard blade. Like, that guy just won the lottery.
But the thing is, so what I'm thinking is maybe Amaram, because, I don't know, just theorizing, because Kaladin didn't take it, he's like, I'm giving it to my men. Would Amaram be honorable enough to honor that? Otherwise, would he go, no, this, I'm the Bright Lord, I'll take it, because it's only right for a Light Eyes to take it. You know, there's some obscure law that this is how it works, and that would be his betrayal, because we already have him saying, yes, it is kind of, Amaram failed to protect Tien, but so did Kaladin, so Kaladin hasn't written him off yet. So there's still something that he has to do.
Yeah.
Or he has to die.
I'm wondering if it's going to be a situation in which Kaladin's popularity threatens Amaram in some way. More so than anything else.
Yeah, something still has to happen. So the thing we thought did not happen.
Good on Amaram.
Which is fun. And yes, good on Amaram. It's fun that that's happened. And this is the honor. And Syl was there. Hello, we did have, he was tripped by not tripped. He had coins. Yeah, his coin purse was like being held back by a wind sprain. So that Syl was there already. And Syl's been watching him. Yeah.
Now, an important question about the flame-like shard blade, because Kaladin is Wind Boy, not Fire Boy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if he felt it was wrong because it's his destiny, for lack of a better term, to receive a different shard blade, dare I say a shard spear of some kind.
Yeah.
Or is it because his surge binding conflicts with shard plate and shard blades, if we recall the prologue chapter properly? So is this destiny or is it... Go on.
Could it be both? Could it be it's got something to do with the magic feel, but he really does feel proper emotion about not taking the blade because of the blood on the blade. This thing, he would be this is a moral problem as well. So I can understand the magic part of it, because that's why it feels wrong, but he also attaches emotions to it, that no, this thing just killed all my men. I don't want this. It's wrong. So I think it can be both.
Yeah, and there's an element of he doesn't want to turn into a Light Eyes, which could happen if he takes it.
Mm-hmm. Which is, in theory, what happens.
Anything else to say on the chapter?
If I was the guy that was given the shard blade, I don't know, I wouldn't feel good about it. Like, maybe I'd take it. I wouldn't say no, but I would be like, now everyone thinks I kill the Light Eyes, because you're supposed to basically earn it, right?
Hey, so Korb contributed.
That's true. He still ran at him. Yeah.
He risked his life.
Yeah, that's true. Right. So we know a little bit more, but we don't know everything. Again.
Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. Subscribe to That Darn Kitty if you get a chance, because she's got a great channel. And we'll see you next time. Okay, thanks, bye.
Okay, thanks, bye.